the original Quonset hut. Before understanding why these structures are showing up in backyards and rural properties across America today, it helps to know where they came from. The Quonset hut was developed in 1941 by the United States Navy, just before the country entered World War II. The military needed a structure that could be shipped anywhere in the world, assembled by people with no construction training, and put to use almost immediately. A team of engineers and designers working in Quonset Point, Rhode Island, produced the answer in a matter of weeks. The result was a semicircular corrugated steel shell that bolted together from prefabricated sections, required no heavy equipment to assemble, and could serve as a barracks, a hospital, a warehouse, a chapel, or a workshop depending on what was needed. Over 150,000 of them were built during the war years and deployed across every theater of the conflict, from the Pacific Islands to the North African desert. When the war ended, surplus huts were sold off cheaply to civilians, and Americans found all kinds of uses for them on farms, in small businesses, and occasionally as homes. The design never went away, and the basic principle behind it, a curved steel shell that is strong, simple, and fast to build, is exactly what is drawing people back to it now. The cost advantage over tiny homes. When the tiny home movement gained momentum in the 2010s, the appeal was clear. Smaller living space meant lower costs, simpler maintenance, and a lighter footprint on the land. But the actual price of a well-built tiny home on wheels or a custom small structure surprised many people who assumed small automatically meant affordable. A quality tiny home can easily cost between $50,000 and $100,000 or more, and that figure often does not include land, utility hookups, or the permits that many jurisdictions require. A Quonset hut kit, by contrast, can be purchased for a fraction of that cost. Basic residential kits start at prices that range from $10,000 to $30,000 depending on size and configuration, and because the assembly process is straightforward, many owners build them with minimal outside labor. The savings on construction labor alone can be substantial. When total cost per square foot is calculated, a Quonset hut consistently comes out well below what a comparable tiny home would cost to build or purchase, and that gap has become increasingly difficult for housing-conscious buyers to ignore. The structural strength factor. One of the quiet advantages of the arched steel design is how well it handles the kinds of weather events that have become more frequent and more severe across much of the United States. The curved profile of a Quonset hut has no flat roof surface to collect snow load, which means heavy accumulation slides off naturally rather than building up to dangerous weight. The aerodynamic shape deflects wind rather than catching it the way a vertical wall does, which makes the structure considerably more resistant to high winds than most conventional buildings of comparable size. In tornado-prone regions of the Midwest and the South, and in hurricane zones along the Gulf and Atlantic coasts, this structural resilience is a genuinely meaningful advantage. Tiny homes, particularly those built on trailers or with light framing, can be vulnerable in severe weather in ways that a steel arch structure simply is not. For people building in rural or exposed locations, the difference in durability is not a minor consideration but a central one. The permit and zoning reality. One of the persistent frustrations of the tiny home movement has been the legal landscape. Many counties and municipalities in the United States have minimum square footage requirements for permanent dwellings, and tiny homes on wheels often occupy a regulatory gray area that leaves owners uncertain about where they can legally park and live in their structure. Zoning codes that were written decades ago with conventional housing in mind frequently have no clear category for a 200-square-foot home on a trailer axle. Quonset huts navigate this landscape differently in many jurisdictions. Because they sit on a permanent foundation and are classified as accessory dwelling units, storage structures, agricultural buildings, or workshop spaces depending on the use and location, they can often be permitted more cleanly than a tiny home. In rural agricultural zones especially, steel arch buildings have been a legal and accepted presence for decades, and local codes frequently already have a pathway for them. This regulatory clarity, or at least greater regulatory familiarity, removes a significant source of stress for people trying to build small and build simply. The interior livability question. A fair criticism of the Quonset hut as a living space is that the curved interior walls create challenges that a rectangular room does not have. Furniture designed for flat walls does not sit flush against a curved surface, usable wall space for shelving and cabinetry is limited, and the psychological experience of living inside a half-cylinder can feel unusual to people accustomed to conventional rooms. But the people who have addressed this challenge have found workable solutions, and many of them have produced interiors that are genuinely impressive. Framing out a flat interior wall a few feet inside the steel shell creates a conventional room inside the curve, with the space between the wall and the shell serving as insulated dead space or concealed storage. Others embrace the curve entirely, using custom cabinetry, lofted sleeping areas, and design choices that work with the shape rather than against it. The interior of a thoughtfully finished Quonset hut can be warm, functional, and visually distinctive in a way that a plain rectangular box rarely achieves. The insulation and climate control challenge. Raw corrugated steel conducts heat and cold readily, and an uninsulated Quonset hut is not a comfortable place to live in most American climates. This is a real consideration that requires deliberate attention during the building process, but it is also one that has well-established solutions. Spray foam insulation applied directly to the interior of the steel shell creates a seamless thermal and vapor barrier that eliminates condensation, provides good R values, and conforms naturally to the curved surface without the gaps and seams that batt insulation would leave. Rigid foam board installed with furring strips is another common approach. When properly insulated, a Quonset hut can maintain comfortable interior temperatures in hot summers and cold winters with reasonable energy consumption. The smaller the structure, the easier and less expensive the heating and cooling load becomes, which aligns well with the modest square footage that most people building Quonset hut homes are working with. Getting the insulation right from the start is one of the most important decisions in the entire build process. The off-grid compatibility. A significant part of the audience that is currently drawn to Quonset huts is the same audience that has long been drawn to tiny homes, people who want to live more independently, reduce their consumption, and be less dependent on municipal utilities and services. The Quonset hut fits this lifestyle comfortably. Its simple rectangular footprint, when used as the base for utility planning, makes solar panel installation, rainwater collection, and composting toilet systems straightforward to integrate. The roof surface of an arch building can be fitted with flexible solar panels designed for curved surfaces, or a separate ground-mounted solar array can power the structure without any roof penetration at all. The low cost of the structure itself leaves more budget available for off-grid systems than a more expensive tiny home might allow. People building on rural land with no utility access have found the Quonset hut to be a practical and cost-effective starting point for a genuinely self-sufficient setup, which has contributed significantly to the growing interest in the format among homesteaders, remote workers, and people pursuing intentional simplicity. The aesthetic evolution. The corrugated silver half-cylinder of the original military Quonset hut is a long way from what many people are building today. Contemporary owners are transforming the exterior appearance of these structures in ways that would have been unrecognizable to the Navy engineers who designed the original. Painted in deep earth tones, forest greens, or charcoal black, with wooden decks and pergolas attached to the front, large glass end walls that bring in natural light, and landscaping that softens the industrial character of the steel, a modern Quonset hut can look genuinely handsome rather than utilitarian. Some owners clad the exterior in wood siding or corrugated Corten steel, which weathers to a warm rusty brown over time. The end walls of the structure, which are flat vertical surfaces rather than curved, offer the most conventional architectural canvas and are often where the most design attention is concentrated, with large windows, custom doors, and covered entry porches that give the home a welcoming face. The gap between what a Quonset hut is and what it can look like has never been wider, and that flexibility is part of what is drawing design-conscious buyers toward the format. The community and online knowledge base. One of the practical advantages that Quonset hut builders have today that the tiny home movement took years to develop is the availability of detailed, accessible information from people who have already done it. Online forums, video channels, and social media communities dedicated to Quonset hut construction and conversion have grown substantially in recent years, and the collective knowledge base they represent is genuinely useful. Builders share detailed accounts of which kit manufacturers they found reliable, how they solved the insulation and condensation problems, what mistakes they made with framing and utilities, and what they wish they had done differently. For someone approaching the project with no prior construction experience, this community knowledge significantly reduces the uncertainty of the process. The tiny home movement built a similar community over time, but the Quonset hut conversation is accelerating quickly as more people discover that the format offers serious practical advantages at a price point that is genuinely accessible. The longevity and maintenance profile. A well-constructed steel arch building, properly coated and maintained, has a service life that compares favorably with conventional wood-framed construction and in some respects exceeds it. Steel does not rot, warp, or become vulnerable to termite damage the way wood framing does. The corrugated arch profile distributes loads efficiently, and the absence of complex roof framing eliminates one of the more failure-prone elements of conventional construction. The primary maintenance concern is preventing rust at cut edges, fastener points, and any area where the protective coating is compromised, which requires periodic inspection and touch-up, but is not a demanding ongoing task if addressed consistently. A tiny home built on a trailer has its own set of long-term concerns, including frame corrosion, axle maintenance, and the wear that comes from being a road-mobile structure even when it rarely moves. For people thinking about a structure they intend to occupy for decades rather than years, the maintenance and longevity profile of a steel arch building is a quietly compelling argument in its favor.